Super pumped this morning here on BronxNet to have a legend with us. We have Doug Danger. Doug, how's it going? How are you?
It's going great. We're down here in Florida enjoying the weather, and we got a deal that's coming together, and I think we got a call the other day. Looks like it's a big possibility we're going to do this big jump.
You are a motivational speaker, a Guinness Book World Record holder for motorcycle jumps, now an author. A lot of things on your resume and so many great moments in your life, all detailed in this new book.
Yeah, I'm not so much the author. My cousin has wanted to write a book about me for years, and I wasn't sure he was the person to be able to do it properly. And I kept checking. I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't find any. But he goes, "Please give me a chance. I know how you want it written." And I described to him. I says, when I read the Cycle Jumpers, I never forgot how they described Caesar's Palace with Evel Knievel. He goes, I watched as the Daredevil and his two-wheeled partner did a dance of destruction. I went, "Oh my God, that's poetry. That's unbelievable." And he goes, "That's how I want to write it." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Okay, go ahead. Let's, and I'll just kind of oversee and watch, make sure everything's going okay." And my God, he did such a fantastic job. I can't believe that I had ever doubted him. He rides motorcycle. He's what you call an enthusiast. He rides in New England year round. And when he was riding his motorcycle to work in December, he went all the way across the state to go to work. And I just used to say, "You crazy? There's going to be ice out there. You might get a forecast of snow. They could have a snow squall come up. You don't even know it." He goes, "Eh." And, he was able to describe when I did the world record jump, I had to hit it at right around 100 miles an hour. And he described it great, how he was up on the highway. And he remembered me talking about that. And he tried to bring the bike up to 100 miles an hour. And then he's almost getting ripped off the motorcycle. And he says, I was going to stand up to see what it was like. He says, "I just couldn't do it." He says, I feel like I would have got ripped off the motorcycle. I says, "That's what it was like when I did that world record jump."
How did you go from jumping bicycles as a kid to being maybe arguably the greatest motorcycle jumper of all time?
Well, thank you on a compliment like that. I appreciate it. Um, I was jumping bicycles, and we thought it was so cool. We decided to call up the local newspaper, and they came down and filmed us jumping over some barrels and a couple times jumping over cars. And we made the front page of the newspaper. We were hooked on this, man. This is like adrenaline rush, and we were just getting attention everywhere. And one summer I started riding motorcycles, and I got really good on the motorcycle. I was racing a little motocross and doing some hill climbing, and everybody said, "When are you going to start jumping motorcycles?" And I talked to the junior class in my school that I was at, and they agreed to build. It was a vocational school, so I talked to the carpentry department. They agreed to build a set of motorcycle ramps for me. I couldn't imagine that ever happening today, but they built me a set of ramps, and we set them up and started practicing, started having some fun. And the first jump didn't go so well, but we learned a lot from it. And then went and built another set of ramps and started going again, and it just took off from there. I just kept seeing farther and farther and farther, and you get to a point in your career, you go, "I just don't know if I can jump any farther." And I think that, like, I've hit that point in my lifetime that I've jumped just about far enough. I have one jump left to do. It's going to probably go down as one of the greatest jumps ever done on Evel Knievel's motorcycle. We're going to be attempting to jump 17 buses live on TV, prime time.
You read the book; it's almost an unbelievable story that it could definitely be worth the film, worth the movie.
That's what we're hoping. We sent the book to a few networks, and some of the producers have contacted us back. We haven't got anybody to bite on it yet, but it'll happen. It's all about positive thinking, and like I said, we had a great author behind us. Steve Hall just did a fantastic job. All my life, people have been telling me, "You got to write a book. You got to write a book. Your life has been incredible. You've come back from so many things. Stage 4 cancer, being in a coma for a month and having to learn everything all over and basically grow up all over again, and coming back and setting world's records after that happening. I've been on top, and I've been to the bottom, and I've been back on top again, and It's like Evil always used to say, and I learned from this, and this is how I grew up, is you're never a loser as long as you're willing to get up, dust yourself off, figure out what you did wrong, and try it again. And I never stop trying. I'll never throw in the towel. When I had stage 4 cancer, they were telling me that you got 3 to 6 months, and I says, I'm not ready to die yet. And they just kind of shook their heads and they chuckled a little bit. I says, no, you don't understand who I am. I says, unless it's 0% chance of living, I'm going to beat this. And he goes, well, only about 5% of the people that have cancer like this survive. And I says, there you go. I'm one of those 5 people out of 100 that's going to beat it. Now you get ready to go and do what you got to do and tell me what to do, and let's go for this ride. It's going to be a good one.
Was there one jump that really stands out the most besides the crashes?
The one that was incredible, when I jumped Evel Knievel's motorcycle over 22 cars, the entire stunt world, everybody that jumped motorcycles gave me less than 50% chance of making that jump. It was too far to fly a Harley Davidson. The bike was not that fast because they'd replaced a lot of the parts with Sportster parts. Nobody thought I had a chance. When I turned around to do that jump, I just looked up and I said, God, I don't know if you're ready for me, but if I don't make this jump, here I come, man. Take care of me. And I went, and somehow or another, we found the speed, hit that thing beautiful, got a little sideways in the air, and still managed to hang on. That to me is the highlight of my career. It was the greatest. This next jump that I'm going to do might be above that one, but we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. But the other one that was kind of funny but scary was when I jumped over the rattlesnakes out in Sturgis. I jumped Evel Knievel's bike over a 100-foot pit of rattlesnakes, and there was a drought out there. They only came up with a couple of rattlesnakes, but I went and looked at the rattlesnakes before I did the jump, and I was like, oh, man. And then my wife showed me a video of what happens if they bite you. They took a test tube of blood, and they took 1 drop of venom and dropped it in it and immediately turned it over, and it was already jelly. And I was like, they scared the heck out of me. So I ended up, it was 100 feet in between the ramps, and I ended up landing 145 feet down. I went an extra mile an hour fast, but it was a heck of a hard hit. I didn't want to land in those rattlesnakes, man.
Doug, you've really carried on. The message of Evel Knievel in so many ways, not only in the jumps, but obviously in inspiring young kids. I know that you talk about it in the book, that Evel had always kind of preached that message of not doing drugs. You lost a good friend of yours, and you want to make sure that maybe some young kids today don't make the same mistakes.
Well, I try to do it at almost every one of my shows. I talk about how David and I had ridden dirt bikes together and always just had so much fun. He was a better rider than I was. I was always trying to keep up with him. And the year we graduated from high school, 2 weeks afterwards, he ended up getting in a bad situation, and I lost him. And as soon as I looked at him in his casket at 18 years old, the words that Evel Knievel had said, if you get involved with drugs, you're going to become a loser and you're going to die. And my best friend just became the biggest loser. He lost his life. And this guy was a ball. He had his whole future ahead of him. He just graduated high school. I think he was on his way to college. And he would have been so successful. And kids, there's one way to make sure that never happens to you. And that's not to not do too much drugs or not do too much of this or don't do this kind of drug or anything. Don't do any. Just never take the first step of any drugs whatsoever. If you do that, you never have to worry about it. What happens with drugs, you get addicted to them. It's like candy. You like candy? Well, you want to eat more. You want to eat more. What happens? You end up getting fat. You do drugs. It's just you want more, you want more, you want more. And eventually it's too much. Your body can't take it and it dies. And you don't know when that is. Never take the first step. As long as you stay away from it, you'll never have a problem with it.
I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. I appreciate everything, man.